Where the heck am I? I can't remember anything.
Hi, I'm Olivia, and I adopted you in the pet store and use magical powers to turn you into an anthropomorphic cat.
Well, that's freaking awesome. Tell me, why you use your powers to help me become the most cat-tastic cat ever?
Well, that's very simple. You're going to be a little workhorse for me and do things whenever duty calls upon you.
Isn't that you just making me do tasks that you're too lazy to do? Like, I'll pass. Thanks for the offer.
Oh, really now? I guess you wouldn't mind me turning you back into a little feline who can only go meow, meow all the time.
I guess this form's a lot better and more adequate to do things. I guess you got it. What's your first task?
Well, your first mission is to find the key locked inside Kokoro Connect so that I can unlock this door. But to find the key, you need to expose the character's mask so they hide behind.
Okay, cool. That doesn't seem too bad. So...
Okay, so you're now in the world of Kokoro Connect. But don't worry, because of my magic, no one will find it weird that you're a cat.
Okay, I guess it's cool just dropping me into places when I'm not ready, but whatever. Where to start? Oh, I know. There's this group of 5 characters, Taichi, Iori, Aniba, Aoki, and Yui, which are all in this club together, where they really just mess around and have fun. Then one day, some magical things start happening, like body switching or turning into a baby, and it's all arranged by a guy named Heartseed. This is what makes the characters not able to hide behind their masks any longer and actually expose themselves and be vulnerable. So, let's take a look at these characters' masks that they put up and the problems that they deal with. Aoki, he really has the simplest problems and issues in the whole show, because he didn't have to deal with much, I feel, compared to the others, and it's not even close. In the Hito random arc, or aka body switching, Aoki's crush is Yui, and she has these problems of being scared to guys, but he didn't realize that. He blames himself for not being able to realize and help her, because he loved her, but at least his best friend Taichi was able to help her out. Later in the Kizu random arc, or for us simpletons, if you desire something, there's a chance for this to happen randomly of your own free will, really. I'm great naming these, by the way. When Yui has a difficulty that is making her stay in her own room, Taichi and Aoki butt heads, because Aoki's really insecure about Taichi being the hero again. When he loves Yui, it should be his problem, not his. Like, that's his girl. Eventually, they come to terms and help Yui together, which was a success in many ways. Later in the series, it's also revealed Yui has a strikingly look-alike girl that Aoki used to like a couple of years ago. So he has to go through this whole ordeal of, do I like Yui because, well, she's Yui? Or do I like Yui because she looks like the girl from many years ago? He goes to see this girl he used to like, and only then was he able to confirm he likes Yui because Yui is Yui and nothing else.
Aoki is all about insecurities as a person and feeling he should be there when the person he cares for most needs it and not anyone else, as well as having insecurities of who he likes and actually loves.
Correct. Then through the show we can realize that they are all in this together and they should be helpful and they can figure things out together. And he also figures out his insecurities about his love and why he really did like Yui. And he figured that out and he's like, okay, I figured that out. I like Yui because she's Yui, and that was his issues. I think it's the least difficult ones he had to work through out of the whole 5, but that was his issues. Now, from insecurities to over-relying, we have Yui, who we have talked about a ton. Yui is a girl who's damaged by being forced upon by a man before the show even starts. Since she was a karate master and couldn't get the man off of her, she felt pretty useless in pretty much every way. So when her problem of being scared of men opens up again and becomes a problem for her, Taichi shows her a way on how she can overcome it by kicking him in the balls. Yeesh. Then, when she beat some people up during the "if you desire something that there is a chance this can happen" arc, she locked herself in the room and felt hopeless again. This time, Taichi and Yoki had to show her a way together on how she can control the desire and be comfortable with them. Then when the evil man named Heartseed approaches all alone, she gets very fearful and scared and calls for help.
Okay, this is like episode 16, and I made you pay for the freaking complete set. And I haven't felt really any growth in this department of over-relying. So, where is it?
Well, that's easy. It happened right after. Yui calls for help. She realizes she doesn't need help. She's a strong enough person to deflect and shield from these things that Heartseed is saying and does. And well, she talks back. She's ready to clap back. And you know what? She's dang proud of it because Heartseed was like, okay, man, you got it, you know? And hey, she finally picked up a W, and that's cool. Now on to Taichi, who deals with an issue of selfishness. Taichi's great. He has always been helping people with whatever problem that he can. Always going to volunteer whenever duty calls, and just all around helpful in every way.
How can this dude have any problems? He seems like a pretty decent person. What's your angle?
Yeah, all those things are nice, but he will readily admit he does it because it makes him feel so good, and it fills his personal ego. Aniba always attacks him hard for being too nice and wanting to help all the time because he easily lets himself be walked on in many ways than one. This behavior would also seem to be an alright trait, but it leads to problems because it made him get in a serious argument over this nature with Aoki and Aniba, and even pissed off Iori a couple of times because he made a promise he couldn't keep, and then at another point trying to pry too much to deal with her issues.
Okay, I see. So he was too kind-hearted for his own good and the people around him, but also doing it out of some level of selfishness. So, how does he rectify this?
He doesn't actually ever really rectify this, I feel, like other characters' issues, which is actually pretty cool. He just comes to accept that he totally has this issue, and sometimes, man, you just have to embrace these flaws because, man, you're gonna have them, you know? Then we move on to Aniba, who has the issue of worrying too much. She acts really cold at times and lacks confidence in her club members. Like during the Hito random arc, again, aka body swapping, she expressed fears to the others that, yo, I'm scared that one of you guys will do something bad and get me in legal trouble. She also is very likely to overthink these things, as she didn't originally like Taichi, then she did, and made some calculations that since there are 5 members, there can only be 2 relationships, and she thought her just taking the L on it would be the best solution, so the 5 of them could stay together. And I mean, hey, the math checks out at least. Eventually, she can work these things out because the club is willing to accept her flaw of worrying too much about things, like people doing terrible things to her body, and Iori tells her that she would be stupid to not go and fight for Taichi's love if she likes him, which she accepts and starts showing her feelings for Taichi, which is when she becomes totes adorable. Okay, now, the final one, and I would say she is easily, far and away, the person who deals with the most hardships through it all, and that is Iori. Now during the body swapping thing, she took it really hard. The reason being that she was struggling with an identity crisis. She would put up this facade of being happy, go lucky, as well as being the perfect daughter for a really abusive stepdad for her mom's sake. So when the body swapping occurred, she lost the last thing that she felt was real, and that was her body. This was solved with basically Taichi saying he likes Iori because he can tell who the real Iori is throughout all the facades and the mess. After this, Heartseed takes charge of her body and puts her in a horrific event of jumping off a cliff, which almost kills her. After that scary circumstance, it scars her mentally, and she feels like she just can't love Taichi through all this, and it really gives mixed signals for a large portion of the show on this. Like, she leads Taichi on, I feel, because she still likes him, but she doesn't really like him anymore because of the circumstances, I feel. Anyways, she gets really mad at Aniba for trying to force her and Taichi together when Aniba also likes Taichi and hates it because she feels like it's not right for her to only have to show her emotions and she doesn't have to show anything. Now during the final arc, which is the Michi random, or your thoughts can be transmitted to the other members, Iori loses it because her thoughts make her seem fake about everything that's being said. Remember, she acts like a happy-go-lucky girl. This prompts her to break, and her prior issues of facades rise again, which leads to her giving up on managing them because it's honestly too much stress for her. She would actually have to act like that on the outside, the happy-go-lucky, and also think like that at the same time. And screw that for her, pretty much. She's saying screw that. So this turns the happy and cheerful Iori to a dark and cold Iori. A lot of the club members try to help her, but they just can't seem to grasp what they knew earlier, that she plays roles and her usual cheerful self was fake and this new version of her is the real her. It also angers her greatly that the other members keep saying verbiage like, "Where's the real Iori?" or "You're not acting like your usual self." The issue only gets resolved when the other members are in a tight life or death spot, and she understands what the other club members have been saying when trying to help her, like, you should do what you want to do and nothing else. So just be you and everything else will fall in place. When this hits her and she goes and helps her friends from this tight situation by doing her old little facade thing on a would-be assailant. And it saved all their lives and made everyone go happy, and everyone had a smile on their face in the end. So from now on, we got the true Iori and nothing else.
You did a fabulous job, and the key manifests itself for me to use on this door. But before that, do you have any random thoughts that you want to add on the anime in general?
Of course! First, watch the dub. And why? Well, watch my previous video for my thoughts on that. Now it's the anime itself. It is honestly very funny, like, it does a masterful job in making you laugh. It has a great mix of adult jokes, playful banter, and genuinely funny circumstances. Since this show can get pretty dark at times, it is very needed because if it didn't have it, it would feel very edgy and not good at all. I think the middle and the end of the show has a little bit of a slow pacing, and honestly, the Kako random arc, or they transform into kids arc, legit has to be so uninspiring. Like, they have a cool concept, but they don't do much with it. Like, all they do is sit in a room all day. It didn't kill the show or anything for me, it was just really meh. The first and last arc are astounding though, because they freaking hit hard emotionally and get you so invested in what's going on. I don't feel like it's by accident either, but the arcs that have the most to do with Iori are the best because they seem to just give her the most character in the show, and it feels like everything does revolve around her, even though Taichi is the protagonist slash narrator of it all. I'm kind of sad there won't be a season 2 or anything because it's easily one of my favorite shows, but hey, I'm gonna read the light novel when it's fully translated. The official translation is at like volume 10, and I think it should be done mid to late 2021. All that I really know beyond the anime is that 2 new characters join the club, and only they have the unnatural occurrence, and it's called illusion projection, which has the bio of illusion projection grants the user the ability to take on the appearance of anyone. The illusion is just that, a superficial projection rather than a biological change, and the image projected is only seen by the original 5 members of the club and can only be used on them. Anyways, with that, that's all I wanted to say, and we can just open that dang door, Olivia.
It's freaking cake! Let's go!
You made me do a review for cake? CAKE? K-E, cake.
Of course. Now let's eat.
You know what, Olivia? You were right. This cake, it's smacking. I will never doubt you ever. Oh my God. I will never doubt you again. This cake is the stuff of legends.